Salam alaikum. Hola, namaste. I'm trying to go through every language. So on behalf of TKT Magazine, would like to welcome all of you on this roundtable. And just like a quick brief that TKT Magazine is one of the oldest magazines in broadcast history. It's focusing more on the technology side and all around so far. And it's not just a magazine, it's a full platform going all over the industry. On a personal level, this session means a lot to me in all like areas. So I was part of the UAE Pro League and part of the nice team that I have so far for the last 6 years. And this session I have to take another role, which is the moderator role. And I will do my best to highlight what happened behind the scenes and how it's going with everyone. And I remember like starting a little bit story. 2016, I had the discussion internally with the team. We were discussing the idea of going with virtual reality technology in football. And one of the guys somehow just gave me this comment, and he said, "You're crazy, man. You should. This will never happen with football." And then, but by 18 months after that, we were the first worldwide football platform to do virtual technology telecasting. And the same guy came to me that after that, and he said, "I told you that you're crazy." So I believe in general and about what's happening, I would like just to highlight that UAE Pro League is a little bit small. At the same time, it's new, but away from the players and what's going on the pitch, away of who's winning, who's losing. I need to give some quick facts about that league. So it was established 2007. I'm not going to get into the details. I will keep it to the team later on. But from the broadcast side, the department was established 2015. The first worldwide, as I mentioned, league to telecast and then the virtual reality, and the first league in Asia to implement the VAR system, augmented reality mixed with drones, immersive technologies. Player point of view with replays. It's bulk of everything, 4K productions. It's the first league and the first football league in the Arabic world that's streaming digital bilingual content, Arabic and English. So it's way more than the technologies. Even from the content side, it's the first Arab league that have a female English commentator, as an example. So special cameras, buggy cams, sky cams, virtual audio cheering, mobile device, special vertical productions, many elements around that league, which make it beyond the 16:9 or beyond even football. So I'm talking, as I mentioned, that I'm talking about the United Arab Emirates Football League, which is the ADNF Pro League. So a couple of experts joining this roundtable. I'm really glad to see everyone. I'm so happy that I'm meeting my friends again and again, and this is like everyone was part of this success story. So allow me to welcome our guests. So I'm going to start with Andre Chagas from WT Vision Media Pro. At the same time, I would introduce my new friend Rahat Kulshreshta. I tried my best, Rahat. So welcome to the party. At the same time, I would like to introduce Mohammad Ali from Sponix. Thank you, Mohammad, for being part of that. My old colleagues in Abu Dhabi Media, Mr. Talal Al Hammadi and Mr. Paulo Resende. Thank you guys for being part of that as well. And finally, my ex-colleagues and my partners in the crime, Mr. Malek Doughan and Mr. Jamal AbdulNasser from the Pro League. So in the beginning, if you allow me, I'm going to go with just go around the table. I will start with one by one. So I will ask you, please introduce yourself, give us a couple of lines about your company and what you're doing. And on a later stage, we'll go into the details. So I'm going to start with Mr. Andre Chagas. Andre, go ahead, please.
Hello, Ammar. Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to participate in this roundtable. So my name is Andres Chagas. I know most of the faces here, which I'm very glad because we've been working over the years. So I work for the Multivision. The Multivision was founded in 2001, has been part of Media Pro Group since then, and established in the Middle East, in Dubai, more specifically since 2008. So since 2008, we have been working directly or indirectly with the Pro League all over these years, all over these consecutive years. So we have been working with Pro League before you were even pro, so at the time of UFL. So it has been 14 years of challenge, but we have been growing together, and it's absolutely a pleasure to see how we started and how we are all right now and the quality that we are delivering.
Yeah, so let's go for the next guy, Rahat. My friend, can you start, please?
Thank you so much for having us here, Ammar. Pleasure to be in this company of such interesting people who pulled off such a fantastic UAE Pro League this year. So congratulations on that. Very quickly on Qudish, I'm Rahat Kulshreshta, founder and CEO of Qudish Innovation Labs. We're a company based out of India, but have operations pretty much across the globe now. And what we've been doing is we work with three pillars of the company. We've got technology, sport, and creativity. And as a company philosophy, we kind of mix all these three together to really bring value add for clients and customers. And the idea really is to be able to bring the viewer more and more into the game. So we try and build whether it's using AI, whether it's using augmented reality, to be able to bring the fans and viewers closer and closer into the game. So whether it's using these moving cameras like the buggy camera that we saw this year, or it's the drone with very interesting augmented reality solutions, or we've now built AI where we can track players and put graphics on them. So building interesting technology solutions is what our team really enjoys, and with a clear focus to enhance the broadcast, enhance the storytelling, and deliver something that's really exciting for the fans and the viewers.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Rahat, for the introduction. Mohammad, can you just tell us about Sponix and about yourself, if you don't mind, please?
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and seeing many familiar faces and friends. So I'm Mohammad, CEO and founder of Sponix. So we have developed some technologies that are unique worldwide regarding how we are implementing this kind of technologies. Using AI, machine learning, computer vision, and cloud computing, we are trying to enhancing fan experience and increasing fan engagements for the right holders, leagues, clubs, and also for the broadcasters. So that was a very great cooperation that we had with UAE Pro League, because when we started our startup in 2019, UAE Pro League and you and the team was the first client of our company. And right now we are working with some other top tier competitions in Europe and other regions, but we appreciate the trust and support that UAE Pro League did, and we had a great experience to work with UAE Pro League as one of the most pioneer, or I should say the most pioneer league in the region.
Thank you, Mohammad, for the introduction. So if you allow me to go to one of my masters, actually, Talal Al Hammadi, can you just give us a small introduction, please?
Thank you, Ammar, and hello to everyone. I am Talal Al Hammadi. I am from Abu Dhabi Media since 1996. Then I was part of Live HD since 2008, I believe. I used to be like a cameraman, director, and many technical jobs. We are as Live HD now. We started broadcasting the football, the Pro League from day number 1 until now. Started with the HD equipments till now. We started the 4K production. This is for now.
Thank you, Talal. Let's go to Paulino.
Hello, I'm Paulo Resende. I also from Live HD. one of the TV directors in the project, and it's been a pleasure to participate in the innovations from the Pro League, and I hope that the future will bring much more things to continue to be one of the kind in the project and in the region.
Thank you, Paulo. Thank you, Paulo. Jamal, can you give us a small introduction about your role, please?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Ammar, for this invitation. My name is Jamal. I'm from the UAE Pro League. I'm handling the broadcast operation, looking after the stadiums, facilities, coordinating with the Live as a production company, with the right holders. And yes, I'm one of the, as Ammar said, the partners in crime. And I'm happy that we did a lot of adventures together, and nice to see you guys.
Thank you, Jamal. Malek, go ahead, my friend.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ammar. First of all, thank you guys for extending the invite to basically participate in such an amazing platform. I had the pleasure to basically sit alongside Ammar in previous roundtables and conferences where we were both basically pitching the same project. It's actually an honor to be sitting now being moderated by Ammar. I think the topic of discussion is the UAE Pro League. I'm here in my capacity as Marketing and Commercial Affairs Director. I currently oversee everything from marketing operations, fan engagement, how we can basically engage with a diverse audience, bringing them to the stadium. At the same time, how to basically sell that product that happily I can see a lot of my previous colleagues that I have happily worked alongside, like Talal, being head of business development with Live in my previous experience, and seeing how that product grew from its early stages as described by Paulo, as described by all of you. And I think all of our contribution through these years made the product what it is today. And I'm very proud to say it is in capable hands, and we want to see something even better in the years to come. At the end, we are representing the UAE. We're representing a homegrown product with global aims. We want to basically take this product into a wider audience, become one of the top leagues in the world. Again, thank you all, and I hope this session will benefit all of us.
Thank you, Malek, for everything. And I really would like to thank the people who joined us. We have almost 50 people so far. So I really would like if you just joined the session over YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. Again, we're just talking about the UAE Pro League and the TV production technologies so far. And if you allow me to start with the Pro League guys, I would like to ask Malek to give us like small introduction about the league and what's going on. So Malek, if you go ahead with your presentation, please.
Thank you, Ammar. I'll be sharing my screen. Can everybody see? Cool. So I believe this was the picture we have in front of us is actually the last project that was directed by Ammar in his capacity as our previous broadcast director. Again, it was probably one of our most innovative event to date. We promise, Ammar, that we will hopefully try to live up to your expectation and be giving even bigger and better productions in the years to come. So about us as a league, of course, we're the UAE Pro League. We represent the football in the UAE. Our vision and mission is to basically create the highest standards of professionalism, not only on the pitch, but also when we basically broadcast our content on a global level. We develop programs and activity that help us reach our main also target, which is the community happiness, and how to basically build an engaging product with, again, a diverse audience that not only in the UAE, but also transcend to the MENA region and on a global level. Basically, we have 4 competitions that I know that you're all aware of. We have the new title sponsorship for the Pro League, which is the ADNOC Pro League. We have a Pro Cup, a Super Cup, and basically an under 21 category. We run our matches over the whole season in the UAE and cross around the span of 228 matches that are currently televised on 3 main takers in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Sharjah, and also with a global distribution. Our plan is always, as we always try to focus, to how to build a better product, how to reach a wider demographic, and that's, I think, within the course of this conversation we're going to have, and going to touch on many of these topics. A bit of our timeline, our competitions, when they run and when they basically finish. Again, we focus on these 3 primary competitions with focus on the under 21 for future progress. Our teams, they're known by all of you guys. We basically represent the professional teams in the UAE. They're very big names and very big franchises. They've been with us since almost from the beginning of the inception of the league, with big names like Al Ain, Shabab Al Ahli, Al Jazeera, all basically owned and run by the highest stakeholders in the UAE. Now, let's talk a little bit about our figures, which is basically a very important point for us. The success of the last couple of seasons can have not been achieved without the collaboration of almost everyone within this panel today. From Ammar, from Live, from basically all our partners that basically helped us reach where we are today. We're happy to say that we've exceeded 18.2 million viewership in the last seasons, with more than 5,200 hours of content, which shows that as a product, how diverse we are and how focused we are on content creation, which is a very important point to reaching the hearts and the minds of a very targeted fan base. With our social media increasing on a year-to-year, we have been basically one of the most prominent, let's say, what we call ourselves events in the UAE, because what we provide is a very solid value proposition that would allow engagement continuously with our target audience and also with our stakeholder and broadcast partners. Now, what we have tried to do over the course of the year, we've tried to change just from being a football match and more into the entertainment business, because we believe that in order to captivate the audience, you need to create a very compelling content, tell a story, how you can it's not only about the rivalry on football, but it's also the association and how we can project the values of the United Arab Emirates through football. Again, we've relied on technology with the help of our partners, and whether it's immersive, whether it's mapping, the utilization of new technology, on how to make our content more compelling and more attractive. Because for us, that hits all our KPI, from increasing fan base, but at the same time increasing commercial revenues into becoming a sustainable league that can help grow further and further. Now, we go back to fan engagement because for us, it's a very important topic. And I believe our colleagues in Sponix already started talking about the ways where we can start engaging with the audience more. So it's not only about them coming to the football, but what can we give them and how we can start increasing that affinity to us at the league and alternatively their, let's say, affinity to the clubs that we represent. So we have to say that our target was always somewhere around 4.1 million residents in the UAE based on the personas that we have identified. And in the seasons before COVID, we have managed to reach around 2.1 million of those that are resident in the UAE that have interacted with us in one way or shape, whether it's following up through the broadcasters, engaging with us on social media, or even have a interaction through our roadshows. We started roadshows that basically expanded over the course of 190 days. But however, COVID-19 had other plans for us and basically made us relook at the business and how it was conducted. Some of the pillars of our fan engagement included everything from roadshow, association with superfans or brand ambassadors, how we like to call them, and as well match of the week or the fan zone activations, where we try to take football to the community. So if you don't currently interact with us, we try to ways and forms and way we can bring football to you and make you basically part of this property. As well as that, we started dwelling into other programs like the e-tournament because we wanted to engage with those that currently are not directly involved in football. We did a partnership with EA Games and started basically doing the qualifiers that bring one player from the UAE to participate in the World Cup. And again, loyalty programs. We believe that fans spend a lot of time, whether supporting clubs or coming to the matches, so we need to give them more. How we can basically give them more value and make them buy into our product even more. However, the changes that happened basically in the last couple of seasons made us relook at our business and how we can basically do that business continuity. COVID had other plans, which basically led us into one, cancellation of one of our seasons. We couldn't continue. And we basically had to relook at how can we conduct football operations. And from there, the team sat down together and started putting protocols for return to play, whether from PCR testing, from sanitization, how we can run an environment where it's safe, not only for the players, but also for the fans that needed to come back. And there was a lot of awareness through social media, through campaigning, to basically ultimately deliver a fanless season, last season, but however, that had a very high impact. When we sat down at the beginning with Ammar and we basically decided, okay, what else can we give those that are sitting at home? They were used to a different matchday experience. They were in the stadium, they could touch the players. But now we are having to play with stadiums that are barely empty. And I believe that in the most critical of time, this is where innovation basically transcends. We included elements that were never in our feed, from the virtual graphics, the augmented reality, with the help of our partner, as well as the virtual cheering, and managed to deliver football matches that basically lived up to the expectation of those that were sitting at home. We utilized football as a way to basically decrease the impact of COVID. We wanted to give them sense of normality. And I believe that we achieved a very successful season last season, although we did not have fans. And the implication of it actually were on the revenues. We had the highest commercial revenue to date. We managed to sign 3 new sponsorship deals, get a new title sponsor for the league that was not there for probably the six years before. We grew on social media and as well as on TV, grew our TV viewership. Now, moving forward, we needed to see what can be done to basically maintain that flow. So now the plan is on how to create more exciting competitions, to bring in more passionate fans, that in turn would increase the rights value, increase the revenues, and ultimately support our vision in creating more quality teams that compete on not only the local, but the regional and even the international. And I believe this is part of our success moving forward. And I hope that today, within this discussion, you guys will help us shed light on more initiatives that we can basically utilize as a league and help us basically grow this property even further. Thank you.
Thank you, Malek. Thank you so much for the nice presentation. And you mentioned the number, which is 18-point-something million viewership. And I want just to highlight that 6 years back, it was less than 3 million. So in a couple of years, the number been increased massively, alhamdulillah. At the same time, from the other angle regarding the digital side, I believe it was, the digital side like improved a lot. So before I go, if you allow me, before I go to Jamal, I'm going to ask for a video to be run. So let's see the video, and then Jamal, I'm coming to you, please. So every time I see those videos, I feel so proud, and I'm sure that everyone around feels so proud as well. So Jamal, I want to ask you more about how you think those technologies helping the product?
Yeah, Ammar, as you said, as you saw at the video, we tried to highlight some of the technologies that we have used on top of our production. These kinds of technologies, of course, we are trying to attract, let's say, the football fans, and maybe we can reach to another target, like new generations that, we are trying to have different way of production, like for example the drone AR, the virtual reality, all these kinds of things. I think it's not always a normal football production.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you so much. So if you allow me, I'm going for the main partner that we have, or that the Pro League has within this discussion. I'm going to go for Mr. Talal and Mr. Paulo, and just ask about how you think those technologies are improving the product.
Let me start, Paulo. So as you said, and as we discussed, and we talk a lot about these things, improving and development. This is will never stop. We are always. I mean, we started with the standard things. So then HD, then 4K. So then the small elements or the small ideas, the small things, much will be added a lot for the football production. Some special equipment, some additional requirements, which is not normal to be used in football. But I mean, and somehow we try together. Actually, we try to find solution or to find way how to use it in the right way, which will add to the football. And I believe we did together, especially with your support and with your crazy idea, Ammar. We did a lot, and I believe this will not stop. And we are looking for more surprises, actually, let's say, in the football in the future, inshallah.
Thank you, Talal. Paulo, how do you think those small elements, as a director, from your point of view, how you think those elements are adding value for the product?
Yes, the value, the tricky part, I like to say that to bring all these new equipments and these new ideas is not forget that at the end we are doing a football, and the football have some rules and some things that we need to follow. And the main target is to implement these small or these big things, but in a way that complement the match and not replace the key elements of the match. And this is the tricky part, and this is the challenge that we face when we bring this technology. But at the end, it's like you mentioned in the beginning, the crazy ideas bring us to this level. So we love crazy ideas. Sometimes a lot of nights without sleep to try to see how these crazy ideas will work. But at the end, when we saw the picture and we saw what is on air, I think everybody is proud what we achieved. But always with the idea that this is our base and we need to work every day to improve even more our quality and to bring new ideas. So we didn't finish our ideas. We're just starting the new ideas, and let's see what the future will bring us.
Yeah, nice. As you mentioned, I believe like many nights we wasted trying to do like one frame or a couple of things. But one of the challenges that you just highlighted, which is that it is a football match. You don't want to affect the match. At the same time, you want to make sure that those elements added value for the product itself. Malek, I'm going to ask you that question. So it's a little bit tricky from the commercial point of view as well. So you're trying to implement new things at the same time. You want to make sure that it adds value for your commercial partners. So how do you think that formula works so far?
Look, in all fairness, I would say for the last cycle, the last 3 seasons, that we're basically almost at the close of the cycle. I believe that the advancement that the league has seen from a production value I think it was much, much higher than the development it had in the years before. And again, it's all the effort of all of those that basically worked on it. We have personally seen the return on the actual commercial value, because now not only we have new product, we have new interests, we have new categories of sponsors that are interested in the new innovations being used. One very important element is that the target audience, because of all the content consumption that's currently happening, they're becoming themselves a very big critic. They all want to see the beautiful shot, whether the utilization of this hyper motion, the super slow motion. They want to see that aerial footage, utilization of the RoboCam that we basically introduced in the Super, the Rover. All of these elements have been looked at very positively. Even on the graphic side of things, utilizing the AR, the VR, the virtual cheering, all of these elements, if we talked about it a couple of seasons ago, you'd be like, you guys are crazy. But now that they've been implemented, funny enough, they're becoming the new norm. That's what the audience currently wants. Yes, I understand at the end of the day, we are doing the football, but all of these gizmos around it are elevating the content and making it more appealing. And we all know at the end of the day, if you have more eyeballs on the product, more sponsors are interested. Suddenly more fans come, the whole cycle starts turning. So yes, I agree with all of you. It has to be a balance. We don't want to basically put too much, because sometimes adding too much spice on the food will basically ruin it. So there's a sweet balance. I believe we've reached that sweet balance, but you know us. We're basically ultimately at the end of the day, we want our league to be looked at as the best, and of course, always pioneering. And we're happy to experiment with you guys. You've proven basically many, many times the proof of concept was successful. Why stop now? Let's keep pushing the edge.
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned, that it might open like in the eyes of new commercials, even new fans, you know. As an example, I remember when the first virtual test happened, like 90% of the people who watched and did the experience were not football fans at all. They were like technology geeks trying to follow up the new things happening with the virtual reality and all around. So I will go for, if you allow me, I will go to Andre. I will ask about the cooperation so far with the UAE football in general. At the same time, I want to ask you about mixing many kind of elements together through your company at the same, under the supervision of live guys, which is the augmented reality, statistics, heat maps, tracking systems, and I believe that the AdNoc Pro League guys keep asking, demanding too many things. How things goes with you?
Yes, so if you can think about a few years back, the only service we delivered in the broadcast was standard graphics with few statistics, and this is not that long ago. It was maybe five years ago, maybe. So since 2018 or 2019, we start adding more technology to the broadcast. This is not only keeping up with the market, but also suggesting new technology, and even technology that was not used in football before, we start using in football. We adapted to football. So the partnership with Pro League has been challenging, has been exciting, and you know what I mean. It's challenging. You know exactly what I mean. So we of course we want to give the best experience for the viewer. We want them to be happy with the final product, but we also want to show them things that maybe they don't know that they need. So maybe this is a little bit on the commercial side. We can do a better product, and with better product comes more viewers, with more people viewing it, more sponsorship. So of course there's all that components can work together. So yeah, so Double T Vision has been, as I was mentioning, started with standard graphics operation. Over the years, we introduced tracking statistics. So we started with few matches in one season. We moved it to one match per day. These tracking statistics started to be shown on standard overlay graphics. With the AR, we not only introduced a new technology, but we also reutilized the work that was being done with the tracking system, and why not display this data in a different way with the AR. So this has been step by step what we've been developing with UAE Pro League, and we are looking forward for what's next, because I'm sure we are not going to stay here. This is just the beginning.
I believe so. I don't think so. You will stop here for sure. The question is more for Talal. From your point of view, having too much elements, having too many experiences happening within the match, while you have like a match action running, how do you think the running order will be?
Actually, Ammar, as Malek and Paulo said, you know, the main concentration should be in the football itself, the match itself. You know, adding this let's say elements, this extra equipment, this extra technology, for me, for sure, this will add. You know, and I would love to have them actually. You know, I mean, somehow, somewhere, or sometime, maybe a bit more than usual. But for me, it is always interesting and always good to have them actually, even the live show actually. So for me, for sure, this is will add and will keep add actually.
Yeah, perfect. So I will go for another technologies that have been implemented through the last 3 seasons, and Mohammad maybe mentioned in the beginning that it was the first like proper test on air. And I believe since day one, the feedback on it was huge from at least from the fans we were having around. And you told us about the growing or happening with your company going to Europe, going to many like elite leagues around. So how do you think the cooperation with the Pro League happened, and what was the main challenges so far?
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That was a very big step for us. The night that for the first time our technology was broadcasted during the Super Cup of UAE Pro League, and that was a very big moment for us. And that was the first time that was broadcasted. And you know, because until that moment, the only league that had the similar technology was La Liga with another technology provider. But as you know, they need huge installation inside of the stadium, 38 5K camera, specific servers, and kilometers of fibers. But using AI and machine learning, we just used the broadcast feed on that Super Cup final, and the result was amazing. And I remember that when you broadcasted the output during the match, again after the match, UAE Pro League Twitter account published our output, and that was a huge record. If you remember, that was 110,000 views just in 3 days. That was a very big record for the social media of UAE Pro League, and that was very interesting for us as well. And that was a starting of our journey. After that, we started our contract in the region, especially in Qatar with Bein Sport, and recently by official approval of FIFA, our technology was used during Arab Cup, and FIFA has planned to using our technology for World Cup as well. And in recent weeks, we started our official cooperation with UEFA, with Italian Serie A, and also with some of the clubs in the Bundesliga. The main point is we can work with different sections, league, club, and even broadcasters, because even we can work in downstream. So what we did with UAE Pro League, that was that shaped our company, and we are looking forward to have a more cooperation with UAE Pro League for this technology and also the other unique technologies that we are releasing right now. I don't know, I have time to speak about these technologies as well, or in the
Yeah,
next.
you can. You can give us like a minute introduction about the technology itself. Go ahead.
Yes, our first technology, as the majority of friends, they know that's about immersive technology, that we are showing the breathtaking moments of the match through eyes of the players. That's very interesting for fans and therefore for sponsors. And it will be used more and more in different competitions. And one of the experts recently, he said to me that I believe it will be like the normal replays and slow motion for each goal, that the fans request and need to see the point of view of the player that he's scoring or passing the ball from now on. So it will be like replay system. It should be in every broadcast feed. And the second technology that we released recently, and it's a big game changer in virtual advertising section, is our SP board technology, our virtual advertising technology. As you know, many top leagues like La Liga and Bundesliga, they are using this kind of technologies from 4 or 5 years ago. But the big advantage that our new solution has is that we don't need anything in the stadium, any billboard, any staff, any sensor, any specific camera. And even we don't need to have access to the main camera feed. We just using the broadcast feed. Even we can use direct feed of the match. It means we can bring the virtual advertising in downstream in broadcast layer. Even Abu Dhabi Sport, Dubai Sport, and Sharjah Sport, they can have different billboards. It's apart from the commercial things I'm speaking. So right now, in real time, we can change the billboards in real time, and in downstream, just using the broadcast feed. And we have some other things that we are working, and hopefully we could continue our great cooperation with UAE Pro League in upcoming matches.
Yeah, for sure, Mohammad, Just back to the first experience you mentioned that we did together. I believe even Ahmad from the X team is here as well. We suffered a lot with the infrastructure that time, as I remember. So I would like to ask that question to Jamal, to be honest, regarding the infrastructures. As an example, as Andre mentioned earlier, that it started with like a normal graphics and then implemented augmented reality tracking systems. So it's a couple of layers happening with the same infrastructure. How do you think the challenge you have to make sure the infrastructure is facilitating the technology that should be implemented? Jamal.
Yes, Ammar, as you mentioned, it's not easy to implement new technologies, especially when you have, for example, long-term competition like the league, and you have like 14 different stadiums with different, facilities with different, there's a big difference between each stadium. So especially some of the technologies you need, for example, dedicated internet lines, you need special rooms or different items to make it, especially that it's not like standard or something normal broadcast. It's something special. So yes, the challenges there. It's not easy, and the guys, Imad also. I remember how we suffered when we did the first time the VR virtual reality. It was very complicated. It was not easy, and the thing, Ammar, also that most of these things or these technologies, we were maybe number one in football that we start to do it. Like we did it as an adventure. We don't have like we couldn't learn from others' experience to know what the weakness or how we can improve it. We just started and from the scratch. That's why it's really challenging. But yes, I think it's not easy. It's all the standard broadcast is challenge. You can think about doing something special or something new.
Yeah, for sure. If I will just change, I will go to Rahat, but I will just need to highlight that the first time we thought about the buggy cam, how to use it within like a football match pitch, especially when we went to Hazard and Zayed, one of the smallest pitches that we have in the country. So it was like a big struggle. How can we utilize this technology, this camera, this special camera, and to use it within the match? At the same time, we were just like, I can't remember that moment that the whole OB crew, everyone around, were praying to reach a point of the penalty shootouts, you know. So when Jazeera like equaled the goal, that the whole crew was like celebrating because finally we can use that camera inside the pitch without affecting the match. So I will just go to you, Rahat. Tell us more about the buggy cam and the technologies in general you're doing and your cooperation so far with the UAE Pro League.
Sure. Thank you, Ammar. So I think the use of the buggy cam was very exciting to see how the UAE Pro League was able to use it. I think soccer as a broadcast philosophy has been fairly conservative in terms of, actually moving away from just using the camera one to moving cameras like this. And I think, taking that leap with the buggy cam was a great innovation, because what it really allowed was to give, firstly, not have a person having to run around with a camera, give you that really nice low angle and give you the dynamism on the sides of as the ball is moving ahead. And what it really added to the whole broadcast was the sense of dynamism. I think what we miss a little bit is it is a really fast game, but you miss that pace and miss that fastness because most of the cameras are on sticks. Whereas the moment you had the buggy cam over there, it was really giving you this dynamism on the sides. It was being able to give you these very interesting shots from the corners. What was really interesting for us as well was, for us, it's bringing the viewer into the game. But in this case, we were able to use it really well for brand integration as well. I think, the way it came in, and Ammar, hats off to you for, pulling that off. It literally brought in the ball with nice brand integration of one of the brands and really kicked off the game. So I thought that worked really well. And specifically on the penalty shootout, I thought, the way it was used, a lot of our operators have cinema experience as well, working in Bollywood here in India. And I think just to see this nice slow move from the back, from behind the referee, and revealing, the penalty shootout happening at the back, hats off to Jamal and Ammar, you for making all of that happen. And when we saw it on the broadcast, it really looked good. I think it really added to the whole story of the game. It really allowed the viewer to feel like he was right there, right behind the action, to be able to see all of the magic happen. So I thought, for us, it was exciting to send the buggy there, but then to really see it being utilized to its max potential was very exciting for us. So yeah, thank you for making it all happen.
I'll just go back to the same topic, that I really remember that moment that everyone was celebrating the goal just to reach that moment, because the discussion we had, me, Talal, Paulo, and the team, that we need that shot from behind the players inside the pitch, So I can't forget that moment. Paulo, can you tell us about the experience of having a buggy cam within a football pitch somehow?
Was a good experience. One more time, we need to think the way that we need to integrate the buggy to explore the maximum that we can, but without touching the key elements of the match. So we use the buggy camera for the pre-match. During the match, also we use it even with the ASA. That is amazing stadium, but it's very limited inside the pitch. So we need to explore the way that we can use, but without breaking the match rules. And then everybody was anxious for the match to go to the penalty, because in the penalties is when we can show and we can play a little bit more with our gadgets. And yes, the buggy did an amazing job there, because at the end it gives for the first time some shots and some movements that the audience is not used to see in the football match. And this was a real nice accomplishment. When we see the match after, and the match was very good, and this make a special touch that I think everybody like to see, and everybody waiting for these innovations.
Yeah, but Mr. Hada, I will get back to you again and ask you about the other technologies you're having, because as I know that you have the integration between the drone cameras with with augmented reality elements. And can you just tell us more about that part, please?
Sure. So we've been working with drones for quite a while, and the drones were giving these beautiful shots of these stadiums. But we were trying to see how we can build more storytelling into the shot, because especially with a game like soccer, you don't want to suddenly move out into a wide shot when all of the action is happening. So as part of that, we built something called Spatio, which is a tracking system that allows us to be able to track the drone movement. And what that allows is really to be able to take real-time data and enable it on this drone shot to make it, far more immersive for the audience. So while you can see this beautiful stadium from the outside, you can now see a lot of graphics that are integrated with real-time data that tells you more about, the player performance, tells you more about what the score is, and really, brings that connection from not just being a beauty shot now, but being a beauty shot with integrated graphics. And now that we've integrated it with the Unreal Engine, we can do a lot of really beautiful graphics where, a lot of, animations where you can see characters come in, you can see the stadium convert into different universes. There's a lot more that is possible now. What we've also built on top of this is player tracking. So using artificial intelligence and computer vision, we can actually track the players as well. So as the drone is flying up in the air, you can now, in real time, on the live shot, make circles, name the players, and then pull in data sources from different providers to be able to add more data. So, whether it's speeds, whether it's gaps, distances, all of that can now also be shown on this wide-angle drone shot. So, these are different technologies that we're working with a clear focus to be able to enhance the broadcast and really help with the storytelling of, helping the viewers understand what's going on the field in such a fast pace.
Yeah, I will ask somehow the same question to Andre, because they have somehow like same, but not the same technology. So we tried that technology for the first time on the last Cup final. And if you can tell us more about the technology and how was the experience with utilizing that kind of technologies within football match,
Absolutely. So this was our second experience in football using the drone to display AR graphics. We've done it before in the Spanish league, in La Liga, and then we use it now in the UAE Pro League. So we had a partnership with our office in India as well. So Mr. Rahat maybe knows us as well. So what we did for this match was we had our tracking system on the drone. So we were receiving the footage of the drone, inserting it into the tracking system. So we were able to know exactly when the drone moves. The graphic knows exactly the movement, so the graphic can stay physically on the correct place. For this match, we had few graphics, and we were able to integrate it with the graphic engine or the graphic software of the match itself, so we can access statistics. So we could utilize what we were already doing for the match itself and display it in a different way. So this was, again, one good experience for us. One more thing to add to the list of accomplishments that we have done for the UAE Pro League. And it was, and I hope we can do it, of course, we can do it again. And we can perhaps utilize the drone, maybe integrated with the tracking statistics, heat maps. This can all be possible. So I would say the sky is the limit, but being a drone makes it a bit redundant, right? But anyway, so it was a very good experience overall.
Yeah, good to know. I think it looked like amazing on air. I can't forget how we were amazed the first time we saw Hazab and Zayed, especially when we used the location part. Paulo, can you tell us more? How did you utilize it during the match? How was it? How was the experience?
The experience was good. At the end, the drone always gives us nice shots from the venues. The thing here was more to implement the drone with the graphics in the right timings, because at the end is a drone, and we need always to manage the flight time with the position, because also the system to recognize the position and to arrange the graphics and in the good way. So this was the challenge, to try to have the drone ready with all the graphics ready to go on air in the right time. And it's a drone, so sometimes winds and this type of things affect us. It's not something that we can predict everything, so we need to be ready, and then we need to try to put when we can, and to be honest.
I saw Mr. Rahat smiling, so I would like to have a feedback on that.
Yes, it's always challenging to put in new technology, and it's it's the hardest part is for the director every time when there's lots of new technologies being put in. But I think both the augmented reality and the way the buggy was used for the UAE Pro League, really showed that one, the intent of the league to be able to really maximize the use of technology, and two, really the vision of all of the people behind the league to be able to experiment with these technologies and really bring new and innovative things for the viewers. And it was just really great to watch the whole broadcast, from the opening show to the kickoff, and just seeing all of the technologies come together in a really, really nice package.
Yeah. But I will go again for Andre, but I want you to wear the Media Pro hat. And I want to ask you, actually, I want just to in the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned that there was a very crazy idea, which is utilizing the virtual reality somehow within the matches and doing like special feeds for that. We tried it a couple of times live. It went well, but it didn't give us the proper feedback that we're looking for. And then we tried the video on demand part, the highlights packages. Can you just tell us more about how the virtual reality project was with Media Pro and UAE Pro League?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this project was done by Media Pro, so not from Double Division. Double Division had a small part on it, but I remember quite well the challenge that we had for this project, and maybe we were a little bit ahead of our time the first time this idea came up. We had a lot of challenge, connectivity, and a lot of challenge. In the end, we using the sponsorship of Etisalat made things work a little bit faster. And as far as I remember, challenging, I think it was the right word for it, but very rewarding in the end, because we were able to put on the solution, the viewer could experience it, and only on that just makes all the work, all the effort. It's the reward for all the effort. The Multivision role on that project itself was to create a database, a server where we could collect the statistics during the match on the normal broadcast. These statistics could be sent in real time to a server, and the VR system could connect to this server, integrate with this server, and display the statistics in real time for the viewer. So whatever we were collecting in the match, the viewer could have access to it. So this was the Multivision part on this project, and also on the look and feel, we also give some contribution. But again, yeah, it was a very big project. Challenging project, but rewarding in the end. And one more time, we were pioneers with it in football.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe you mentioned the challenges. I will ask Jamal about the challenges he had that time. Just to have dedicated internet lines in all areas around the pitch. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, Ammar, as the VR was really, the challenges were from like operation side, from the technical side. If you remember how the signal issue, how to go to different destination to reach to us again, and it was not easy at all. And I remember that we couldn't make it in any stadium. There is some maybe 2 or 3 stadiums that we tried to work on it. So the VR was very, very tough projects, but as Andre mentioned, that we were the pioneers, and at the end we went live, and it was very, very good experience.
Yeah, Malek, I will ask you this tricky question. I think the whole life or the whole technology going to the metaverse somehow, and it is like part of the virtual reality is part of that change. So maybe the guys mentioned that the league was leading that part in the beginning, but currently the Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, they're doing that kind of experience, but the league somehow still like struggling to make it happen all the time. So how do you think the change of metaverse will affect that part?
Thank you, Ammar. It's actually a very important question we have. And it's funny, in the last, I'd say, 6 weeks, I had more meetings with people trying to pitch to us the inclusion of our league in some way or form in either fan tokens or NFTs to be included in a metaverse. It's been insane. Now, it's a very trending topic. Everyone wants to build on the success of what's been done in the NBA, and with sales that basically exceeded or surpassed anyone's expectations. Not to basically hide, it's not very confidential data, but we are currently discussing the inclusion of NFTs, whether it is on digital rights or on gaming rights, stuff like similar to the fantasy football. And there are a couple of bidders. We actually received a couple of bids. People are interested in acquiring our rights. We're still, again, for us, it's a new realm. So we're in the discovery phase. We want to make sure that we're not underselling our privileges at a very early stage, because again, in the market, it's something fairly new. But we are exploring. There is great appetite. It helps us not only from a commercial level, but also helps us with a new target audience, whether it's crypto investors or those that are currently in the collectible realm. So the direct question is yes, we are. There are negotiations. Hopefully soon we'll have something to disclose. But again, we are trying also to understand from a rights perspective what's allowable, what's not, without basically going into contradiction with the current rights holder. But obviously, since we are reaching the new ITA, it's a new rights cycle. There will be new products, whether it's the vertical production rights, whether it's the rights for AV outside the region, the different data, audio rights. There's a lot of elements that we need to discuss, and NFT is definitely on the top of that list.
Yeah, but actually, I was not planning to mention, or it was not planned to go through the NFT. So as long as it is on the table, I would like maybe to ask Mohammad, because they have some kind of experience on that part. Mohammad, can you tell us more about the NFT and how it goes? As long as we open that topic, would be good to let people know what's going on in that part. Mohammad.
Yes, NFT section obviously is a very important trend in the sport industry right now. In different sections, from fan tokens that is being familiar in Europe right now, especially, and also collectible videos that especially NBA started this section with NBA Top Shot with the cooperation with Dapper Labs. Also, we are in touch with some main right holders, especially in Europe right now, regarding the NFT section, especially that with our immersive technology, we can produce unique moments from historic important matches and incidents of these different competitions. Because right now what NBA Top Shot is doing, they are selling regular highlights of the amazing slam dunk or of Michael Jordan, for example. They are selling that in very expensive prices. But imagine that in any football competition, any football league, or for example, UAE Pro League, fans can buy an unique view of a unique moment. So this is where Sponix immersive technology could add value to NFT section, and I'm sure that UAE Pro League will be pioneering NFT section in the region as well.
It's crazy how things go quickly. Sorry, Malek, go ahead. Please.
I was going to say that sounds like a plan for a discussion with Mohammad later on.
Yeah, I believe it is like a plan for another discussion about the NFT and how it's going. No?
Sure.
So,
sorry, Ammar, just I should add one point. I can't disclose what will be, but in first week of April, one of the main right holders of European football, they will publish some of the most important moments of their competitions using our immersive technology. So I think from the beginning of April, many more experts will understand how huge will be the potential of our immersive technology, especially for NFT section. So
I believe, Malek, you need to do that call before April. Huh? So if you allow me, I will go for the next station, actually, which is the COVID-19 and how it affected. But let me just remind, if you just join the session, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, you're most welcome again. And we're just talking about the UAE Pro League, the TV production and broadcast site. At the same time, we just mentioned a couple of challenges, and one of those challenges, I believe, the COVID-19, it's somehow shaped a new era of broadcast technologies. And before going with that part, and I believe the UAE Pro League did a couple of impressive reactions for the COVID-19. One of them is the audio cheering. At the same time, the second one is implementing the augmented reality on top of the stands, trying to fill what's happening there. So I would like to start on that part with Malek. Can you tell us about the experience of COVID-19 and the effect that happened?
Thank you, Ammar. For us, it's a very important topic because we learned a lot. I think everybody looked at COVID as, of course, it's a pandemic and it basically affected a lot of businesses. But we looked at it more internally as an accelerator. It helped us look 5 to 10 years into the future on what the basically product could look like. You basically spoke about the audio effects, which I believe that we had that chat, myself and you, in our first lockdown back in, probably January 2020. We sat down, we were like, what can we do? Then we started saying, how can we integrate virtual audio? We had a couple of meetings with service providers, and then ultimately at the end of the day, we derived audio tracks that could be basically played in a very immersive manner, where it's basically someone sitting down in the bench itself, watching the football and reacting to it. It was actually an interactive setup. And not only we got praised on it, but we basically had calls from the broadcasters later on saying, please don't stop it. We have the football matches now sound even more live than before. And that led us also into starting to consider how can we compensate our sponsors, because now we were basically having these very tough discussions with sponsors that wanted to downscale. You had businesses wanting to shut down operation, let alone spending on sports. So this is where we said, how can we utilize the stadium as an open canvas, and then utilize this canvas to start putting more awareness on the brands. And this is where we started utilizing the basically commercializing the space through the utilization of virtual or basically augmented reality, and started giving our sponsors more value. Funny enough, when we came to discussing renewal of sponsorship, we were in a position to actually ask for more. So while properties were cutting down investment, we basically had very nice conversation with our sponsors that ultimately renewed, paid more, and led us to basically landing our, as I said, our initial title sponsorship with Ammar Pro League. So I think we utilized the technology to its best. That basically helped us basically to be in the position we are in today.
Yeah, and like parallel on that was the using the augmented reality elements at the same time. So I don't know if you have any comment on that part, Andre.
Sure. So of course,
other than he hated us at the beginning.
I love you, Malek. I love you. Yeah, so of course, we as a company, we also had to adapt to a new world. And with pandemic came also new opportunities for us. So we end up developing our AR3 that was already released, but we were able to adapt it to the new world. So we were able to use it with some clients, completely virtual crowds. So we could fill the stadiums virtually. For the UAE Pro League, the challenge was to utilize the main camera stand, the front stand, and weekly to have different kind of content there, even advertising Pro League itself, advertising sponsorship, festive dates, celebrations. So on that part, we were able to fill a space that, of course, there was no crowd. So we had a perfect canvas to utilize the AR system, and at the same time, during the break and the pre-matches, when there is no match, to utilize the full pitch. And this is when we start using the AR with the heat maps. We were able to do head-to-head players using the data collected by the tracking system and by the system in the hobbies. So we were able to utilize what we were already doing it in a different way, show it in a different way. So it was challenging, but it was in the end a good experience. And I think Pro League was very happy with the end result, because we continued doing it this season, even when the crowds came back to the stadiums.
Yeah, I remember the struggle that the team had to collect the audio, like audio clips, to make it like easy for whoever on the mixer. To be honest, I'm a very classic when it comes to football. I'm a very classic guy. I was somehow like fighting against that part, but when the results came in and the satisfaction from everyone came, I believe it helped a lot. Maybe I'm going to ask Talal about that part. We were struggling when we have no fans with the audio inside the pitch. Like whoever was even chatting on the bench, it was like some kind of screaming, how it sounds on air. And when this like virtual elements came in, I believe it helped a lot. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yes, Ammar, actually, yes. The virtual really helped a lot. As you know, I mean, the engineers, the audio engineer or the video engineers, everyone think to provide his service in a good way and think only about his side, Let's say the audio, as you remember. I mean, for the audio, I mean, they need to listen to every single low or high, So for them, they need to listen to the ball kick, let's say. When they kick the ball, they need to listen. So in that case, we need to increase the level of the audio mixer. So then this take us to listen to even to the players shouting to each other, not even the coaches. So yes, was not really easy. I mean, to manage with this, especially with the first round, until we convince everyone that guys. I mean now the stadium is empty, and we don't need to listen to all this shouting, let's say, or bad things or bad words from coaches. So yes, for sure. I mean what do you call it, Ammar? The fans, the audio. Okay, this for us, this make a huge difference actually. Even in real, it is not like a real sound, I mean, everybody is watching that the stadium is empty, but they are listening to someone who's clapping or celebrating. And then for me especially, this was like a good experience, and for me this is keep adding actually, even with the 30% or less attendance, with this sound. For me, yes, for me this make different, and for me I like it actually.
Yeah, and I just need to highlight that the advantage and the what was impressive, that the Pro League collected like special like clips from old matches. So it was not like same as you're watching a match on PlayStation and you're listening to a crowd cheering, not related to what's happening. So it was crowd cheering happening from like old matches related to the league, related to the theme of the league, and even the crowd happening there. Paulo, can you tell us about that, please?
Yes, was a challenge because at the end was also was new for us, but will help a lot to fill the missing the public. So at the end, the crowd, as you mentioned, was not a normal crowd or a usual crowd. So we bring the feel and that we are used to before, because at the end the crowd was from previous matches with the same type of public. Even stadium by stadium, the crowd effects are different. So at the end, if you are watching 2 or 3 matches in a row, it was not the same in all the matches. It was different stadium by stadium, and this filled the gap that needs to be filled, because at the end, as we mentioned before, the stadium was empty. So everybody, even chatting each other, we can hear through the mic. So at the end, this was a huge help for us, even for us inside the OB, and I think also inside the viewers inside house. Was much more pleasure to see the match and to enjoy the match.
Yeah, I can imagine. So just as long we're talking about the COVID-19 and the effect happened, what was the experience from your side, Mohammad? How the COVID-19 affected your product, your services?
Somehow, unfortunately, that was helpful for us, and that was positive impact for us, because obviously COVID-19 is not good things for the for all the persons, but for us, from business point of view, that was good, because both of our technologies that we are implementing right now, both of them are totally remote, and we are doing everything from our office, as you know. And even the live works that we had with UAE Pro League, that was pure software based and remotely. And this is a very big advantage right now for all the right holders and production teams, that they really like to work with the technologies that they see. Fans like the outputs, but there is no integration at all with any part of the production team. So even right now, that with lifting of many restrictions regarding the COVID-19, still many of the production teams, they want to continue exactly the pure software-based production. And at the beginning, when we wanted to implement our solutions, no one had believed that we can do this without being in the stadium. And this is exactly what I mentioned, that you and the UAE Pro League team supported us and trust us to do this. But right now, when we are implementing our solution for the leagues in Europe, or for some broadcasters in broadcast layer, they in day by day, they will understand how easy this kind of technology can be implemented, and exactly this is our main core competency in the industry, that our immersive technology, and also right now our virtual advertising technology, could be done 100% remotely and software based. And also, as you mentioned, especially regarding the virtual advertising, some new spaces revealed during this situation, the fan seats and other inventories. But from my point of view, as a football fan, I really like to see the stadium full of the fans, and just using the other inventories to and make new revenue for the right holders.
Yeah, for sure. The fans is the base of our industry in general. So I'll go to Rahat. How was the COVID-19 effect on your company?
So it was an interesting one, similar to what Mohammad is saying. We got a lot of time to be able to really innovate and just take a pause and really see what we can create further. The first initial few months were difficult because obviously there was no sport happening, and then suddenly sports started coming back. But specifically, I think with the buggy cam, it was quite interesting because what the buggy was able to do for us was really maintain the idea of the bubble, because in most of the tournaments that we work in, there was the teams were in a different bubble, and the camera teams were in a different bubble, and the buggy cam was this device that allowed us to kind of take the cameras in, be around players. We actually developed a hydraulic tower with the buggy, so we could put mics and allow interaction with the commentators remotely. So we kind of utilized the scenario to be able to take the technology and enable more interaction in that way. So the buggy kind of really filled in that gap of interacting between the two bubbles and enabling some of that interaction. So it was definitely a tough one, but I think it overall worked out well.
Yeah, that's glad to hear. I believe the guys who are on field, maybe Talal, Paulo, Jamal, Andre, they struggled a lot because of the COVID-19 cases. Talal, can you tell us about your experience with COVID?
Well, COVID-19 time wasn't easy actually, but in the end, I mean, we managed, we managed all production, all requests came to us. So this is the good thing, but actually it wasn't easy, especially the first year, like almost like no events, no production, nothing at all, But the time there is production and some special out of the football, let's say, I mean, they asked to quarantine full team like for more than 2 weeks, doing nothing, just to keep them safe, just to do like 3-4 days of production. And this wasn't easy, and especially that we don't have enough resources, to keep dedicate like 20 or 30 of our crew just to stand by to make production, and after maybe 2 weeks, This was really not easy, I mean working and making tests for every 2 days, 3 days to make sure that everybody is negative. This wasn't easy, especially when you found someone from your crew in the field get positive result. So this like a disaster for everyone, But in the end, this was happened, and we need to deal with this, and we need to manage. And I believe everybody was dealing good with this COVID things.
Yeah. But Jamal, from your side, regarding missing one of the crew or missing one of the teams, sometimes to struggle to get the PCR test on time. How was the experience, or how is it still on so far?
Actually, it's still on, yes. So yeah, during the COVID protocol for the football, we suffered with the operation. For example, the testing, and everyone's supposed to have the test. Then after that, we have level 2 to have the vaccine plus the test. And the way how we changed for example, the channels, interviews with the players, we implement this new protocol or new regulations to have the social distance, to use the boom mic, a lot of things, wearing the mask in the mix zone. A lot of new regulations that we had it now during the COVID things. And till now we have this issue. For example, in the OB, I remember my last experience in Emirates Club. The audio engineer from the production company from Live, he didn't get his test. And the other colleagues of his team, he was the manager. He came to Ras Al Khaimah. and all his colleagues, they were positive. So he was the only one who was working on the audio and the OB, and we couldn't do the risk and let him in. He was dealing with it from his car, calling one of his colleagues in the OB and try to manage it. So this is one of the challenges. It went well, but at the end, the risk of having someone without test, it's a high risk, so we couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember the last match, last match day of the last season, when we had like 4 productions happening at the same time, and we got a couple of cases. I remember it was like hectic for everyone. I don't know, Paulo, if you would like to add anything on that part, and that match day specific.
Yeah, COVID is a huge challenge because at the end we plan everything, but we cannot control the results. So sometimes the results came on time, sometimes don't came, sometimes came the wrong result. So in this match we have limited resources. So at the end we are doing a lot of matches the same day. We put some plan Bs in place, but it's a plan B. We never, if we lose some guys, the production will be noticed, So at the end, these days, we are praying for everybody not to get a positive test and to have the result on time. Because even the labs and this type of things, we cannot control. So you cannot do the test early, because if not, it's not valid for the match. But we cannot also do late, because if not, we will not reach on time. So it was a crazy times, but at the end we learned. It was a good experience. I think everybody, as usual, from one bad thing, we take good learnings.
Yeah, for sure. But I will ask. I have a question on the group asking about the impact of utilizing the VAR system. So Talal, maybe this question for you, to have like a VAR on top within the feed. Like a couple of years back, we had no VAR, and now the VAR is part of each match. How do you think it affected the output?
For me, this is like a real added value to the football, to have the VAR system itself. But the main point is how to use it, as you know, guys, I mean, if we use it, I mean, if we discuss any case for more than 30 seconds or 1 minute, so for us this is like a wasting time. Everybody, the players will get cold, the audience will get boring at home actually. So for me, I mean, the technology itself, this is for sure will add and help in many cases. But the point is how to use it, or how long we need to use it. I mean, this season, I think it is much better than before, The years ago, they stop the match to review one point happened maybe 5 minutes before. So it is done. So why we should go back to 5 minutes before? If we couldn't do it on time, so we need to skip it. But the VAR itself, for me, this is for sure. This is adding a lot.
Yeah. But the same question I will go for you, Paulo, asking about having the VAR with as a part of the output. At the same time, how do you think the analytical, let's say, like extras, such like the tracking systems and the extra elements, how do you think it's affecting the output?
The VAR is a good thing. At the end, we start understanding some decisions that are made. For us, it's a challenge because at the end, is a part of the match that we cannot control. So when they stop the match is stopped, and we need to follow the protocol that is during this period. I think in the future, the VAR should be even more open to the public. Maybe in the future we should listen to what they are saying, or at least some key points to understand better. This is something that is done in some sports, and with a very good results. The people start understanding better and not put always the referee as the bad guy in the field. Maybe this will be also one point for the future. We never know. For now, the VAR I think is a good thing, even for us in terms of broadcasting. We have more pre-match setups to do with the VAR because we need to calibrate our cameras and we need to do a lot of tests with them before. but it's something that is, I think, had value to the production. And the other elements, I think all the elements that bring statistics or new points to the viewer are also welcome to the production. At the end, it's always a challenge to put on air or to use them, but it's add value. So at the end, all the elements that had value is always welcome.
But that's perfect. I think from the VAR side, there were a couple of challenges. As you mentioned, Paulo, I think as an example, in the NFL, they have some kind of interaction even. So if you are on the venue, you can listen and hear what's going on within the referees' discussions and decisions. I believe that might be the future for the VAR. I believe, if you remember, 2016, when we had the first test on the VAR, it was only implemented in the second division in Brazil, and everyone were like, why are you doing something that will never happen? But by days, it is part of the game, and it's very important part of the game. So I think I'm going. Do you have anything, Mohammad? Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to add one point regarding what Paulo mentioned, because I really agree that the referee shouldn't be the bad guy for the VAR system, and it's very good that fans understand why the decision of the referee team, totally referee and the VAR system, was that specific decision. I want to mention one of the projects that we are working with FIFA right now is to visualizing the point of view of the referee for some specific moments during the match. It could be a very big added value for VAR system. We had several meetings with the decision makers and top guys in FIFA technology department and innovation department, and also broadcasting department of FIFA. We had several meetings with them. They are very interested, and I think it could be very interesting for fans as well to see what was the vision of a referee on that specific moment and why he didn't see that moment. Because sometimes because we produce some we had some tests with UEFA referee committee and also with FIFA team, and sometimes before producing the output, even we are not understanding why the decision of referee was that. But when we are going to eyes of the referee, we see that he hadn't any vision to see, for example, that incident for the red card or that handball, that kind of thing. So I think with progressing of the technologies, also VAR system could be more interesting from fans' point of view as well.
Yeah, I will back to our conversation that we had, you, me, and I remember Ahmad and Jamal that time. We were discussing the point of view of the referee, and then we said it's going to be too much politics. Let's cut it. Never think about it.
Exactly.
And you see, after 4 years now, it is part of the
exactly. Because always we are afraid to producing anything from point of view of the referees for the fans, unless it will be with the confirmation and approval of the referee committee of the right holder, especially FIFA or UEFA, and this is exactly what they are looking right now.
Nice.
So
that's really nice. So glad to hear. I will change the topic a little bit and go for another crazy idea. I remember when we discussed it first time, me, Talal, and Paulo, Jamal, I think was there. Fatma was there as well from our team. And Talal told me in front of everyone, this is a crazy idea. I like it. Let's make it. And it was more about the vertical productions. So before we just go through it, the virtual productions were a special production been done only for a mobile device. I will ask about it later, but if we have the video, Victor, please, can you play the video?
نسخة 2016 فقد التقى الأهلي أيها السيدات والسادة.
One second, guys. We have a video. Let's see it together.
الإمارات العربية المتحدة. الإمارات ملتقى العالم لشباب الأهلي غساني بيلعبها امام المرمى. السلام وبقوه الان الثاني سدد هني عبد الله. ساعتي هي الصح، ودائما نقول الحكم هو الميقاتي الوحيد للمباراه. عبد الله اماميه. السلام والفرصه بعد تمريره النقبي. يا النقبي كانك تنقب ثروه في عالم كره القدم، وبيلي حطها وجميل جدا من فوق خصيف ليعلن عن راح جواو. تقدم جواو. يا سلام رجع في الدقيقة 88. اللون الأبيض مامح وقلبه أبيض، ما أقرن أبيض بالذات على شوط المباراة الثاني. 1-1 تقدم الشباب. نقبي وخصيب برا الشمالي يفرح الآن. معليش شوف لعبها وفي القائم وراحت عبد الله. يا الفخر انتصر. شباب فخر ابو ظبي لكاس السوبر الاماراتيه. الرمه واللون الابيض ساطع واستاذ الكاس جايبينه وشايلينه لفخر ابو ظبي. السوبر جزراوي. السوبر للفخر الظبياني.
So I believe that was like one of the craziest days we had. Maybe it took a couple of times to do the test before, but as I remember, it was a little bit crazy. So Talal, why do you think it was crazy idea?
You know, this is not normal things. I mean, to have, you know, especially, I mean, we used to use our mobile in this way. Actually, now we use it like an easy way, you know, like a daily use position. The important thing of this, Ammar, okay, I mean, now, we did it 2 times. We did 1-time test, and the second time, the most important point now, how to have it like live, you know. This is the challenge. For me, this is the point. Technically or operationally, how can we do it? We did it, I believe. So this is part of the scope. But the main thing is like everybody can have the match on air using the vertical setup, you know. I think this will be the next challenge, you know. I'm not an engineering side, you know, so I don't know how are the engineering or the technical people will manage or to find solution for this. I don't know if there is solution or still not, but I hope that we can have. The second challenge, sorry, Ammar, now we are doing this like a second production, you know. I don't know how often it can be possible to do it with the same main production. This is really important point we need to think about.
Yeah, I can imagine. I remember the struggle even to just like sharing the idea. It was not that easy. So before I go to Paulo, I'm going to ask Jamal your feedback on that experience.
Well, Ammar, as you said, it's a crazy idea, or as Talal said, it was crazy. But I think this is the future. I believe that like 3 to 5 years later, maybe it will be the main digital streaming will be in the vertical. The new generation, they are lazy to flip the phone. So using I think it was nice to watch the normal goal or the normal the highlight in vertical. It was good experience. I think the more person like he suffered is Paulo, the cameraman. I think everyone their feedback were when I spoke to them about it. It was not easy for them to catch the ball or to take it as a vertical production. It was very tough for them. But it was good experience, and we can think about it that in the future will be something like it will be like one of the main productions one day.
Yeah, but before I go to Paulo, just like briefly, we had a couple of discussions about that, and I remember we were discussing with the engineers, shall we like flip it or move it or just crop the feed? So it was like a couple of options. Paulo, can you tell us about the experience you had that time?
Vertical, I think, was one of the crazies that we did because we have a lot of preparation to think out, a lot of study. And it's funny because at the end is something that we internally fight against. I think everybody that is in the field and in the broadcast, when you see someone using or taking photos or recording with a mobile in the vertical position, we want to kill them. So it's something that we need also to fight our internal demons, you know. So one of the days that I was thinking how to do it, I was studying at home, watching a lot of videos, and my son was on my back. Why you are watching vertical? And I was like, yeah, because your generation is so lazy that he cannot turn. So I need to think and I need to do extra job to follow you. At the end, it should be the opposite. But it was a good challenge because at the end, one more time, the young generations also push the old guys to innovate. We did 2 tests. One of them, we use the same OB that we are doing the production because it was a big OB. We can divide OB into parts, and the OB, one part of the OB did the normal production, and then we use a small amount of cameras to do the vertical test. And was also the hard part was to explain the cameramans that also are from the old generation, and that from now on they need to look by a rectangle and a very small rectangle, and they need to have to catch everything. So at the end, if you can imagine, we start from 4:3 to 16:9, and then we flip everything to 9:16. So all the framings are different. In the final, we use one dedicated OB to do that. But even the main concern was always to integrate the 2 productions in the way that we can complement it. In the video, we saw some pictures that was not produced 100% in vertical. We used the Skycam, used Steadicam. So it was a challenge to try to combine the 2 productions for us to have other points of view for the host production but also we can complement the vertical production with some footage from the host OB. And was a really challenge, even for the cameramans. Everything was very small, and they need to think the way to frame, because like for some cameras is more or less okay, but if you imagine camera 1, the work is totally different, because at the end you have a lot of stand and you have a lot of grass, and you need to put everything in a very small rectangle. So it was a good challenge. I think the next step is to try to do this as standard, because even when we push this to be a standard, we will be more easy, because at the end we arrange a protocol. For this time, we record everything in the vertical, and then we need to convert, and we put some delay until we have the final product. But if it's a standard, everything will be easy, because even the technology that at the moment is for the vertical, we don't have too much technology that allows us to do that. Even the technology can be developed, and it's something that I think will be the future also.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is the TikTok effect, my friend. Huh? So this is how we should follow the fans, how they want to see it. This is the whole thing. You don't know, maybe like in a couple of years, you will have another shape or another way to make it done. But the whole thing is, I remember the discussion with the video engineers. How can we have output through a mobile device telecasting somehow? It was not like an easy discussion, I believe. Andre, regarding the TV graphics, I remember you had a way to use the same TV graphics for two outputs, one for the vertical production, the same one at the same time for the live output. So how was that experience with you?
Another crazy experience, right? So what we did in the end was, because we were using a second OB to produce the vertical production, so we were able to send the signal from our graphic machine, and in the mixer they were able to position the graphics in the correct way, meaning in the middle of the screen. So you could see during the match the full clock always there, with the timer running, and when there was a goal, with the clock with the goal scored, watermark also in the correct position. In the future, and because I see that this might be used again, and I can see it by my daughters, because the way they see, the way they consume media is completely different from me. We have a huge TV at home, but they prefer to watch it on videos on the mobile or on the iPad. So I think this is going to happen more often. And I think the next challenge on the graphics side is to perhaps build a graphic line specifically for this. We can use the same graphics on both. So we can, whenever we put one graphic on there, we can trigger the second machine, but the graphics will be specifically for this kind of productions. This is how I see it.
Yeah, I will go for the commercial marketing side. I believe like those crazy ideas should be implemented in a way to make more money and to sustain the idea. So Malek, what do you think of that part?
I think it's very interesting, and this is why we're going to introduce it in the ITA. We're going to launch new vertical production, and identify rights and takers for mobile. So yes, I think any good idea, the sustainability of it is basically relying on how you can commercialize and monetize. We've identified, yes, definitely there is a market. There are those that are currently hooked on their devices. I think the consumption on second screen has been exponentially grown in the last couple of years. We all predicted the disappearance of linear TV. I think it is on its way in one way or shape, but definitely utilization on second screen for us is an opportunity, if not only for vertical but also for OTT. So yes, we will be interested. We need to start digging more around what are the real values for such products and how we can, first of all, get a sponsor for it to basically be part of the feed itself as a technology partner or whatever, and then later on find the streams for that consumption to then be able to commercialize. But yes, so the immediate answer is yes, definitely, and we are looking at how we can basically do that.
Yeah, maybe this is the last topic we have on the table, but I would like to know from Rahat and Mohammad their feedback on the vertical crazy idea. Rahat, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that most of the discussion is around how many crazy things the league has done. It's a difficult one for sure, because soccer as a game is always moving forward, and when you're looking at 16:9, it's always great to be able to see where the ball is going. So the moment you flip the screen this way, it becomes obviously a lot harder to frame, and I'm guessing it was a big challenge for the director and the cameraman to do it. But it's great that it was possible, and looking at consumption trends, we are very clearly seeing one trend of vertical consumption, but also this whole trend of being able to consume in complete 3D space. And I think to the point of your discussion around metaverse, what's happening now is, automatically you're able to convert 3D 16:9 feed into 9:16 and get the framing correct. So that's something that definitely can be done and would be great to automate the workflow. But also real-time conversion of what's happening in 2D into a 3D environment, and just being able to experience the game around. So it's really exciting to see how new consumption patterns are coming up, how new devices are driving, the overall sports industry to make it more and more interesting for viewers. And it's great that leagues are being able to innovate that quickly to be able to enable all of these technologies. So yeah, interesting to see where it's going to go next.
Yeah, I'll wait from Mohammad and to see his feedback on that idea.
Exactly as Rahat mentioned, that the first interesting point for me was that UAE Pro League always doing very amazing things. Just after, I think, for the first time, and Bundesliga did this idea. Just after few weeks, we saw that in the UAE Pro League, and that was amazing. That it was implemented. From a Sponix point of view, we had some experience about the vertical output. That, for example, with our recent work with Italian League Series A, for the social media, they wanted some specific format that was more vertical about one of the works that we had recently for one of the Juventus matches. And that was the first time that we faced this kind of request from the clients. And then we worked in our solution, and we did some development to have this kind of format as output as well. However, I think the 99% of the fans still they like to see the match in traditional format. It's my point of view, but from technology point of view, exactly we customize our solution to be able to produce the right format for vertical production as well.
Yeah, it's impressive how things goes. I remember 2007 there was a discussion about 3D telecasting. I went through the OB. At that time it was like the World Cup under 20 something. I remember I went inside the OB. I was amazed when I put the special glasses, the 3D glasses. Everything was amazing. I thought this will be the future. Like a couple of years after, nobody is mentioning the 3D anymore because the whole experience been changed. The fans didn't like it, and the people even like me with the glasses, they can't put two glasses at the same time. So it disappeared. But maybe Malek mentioned the point of disappearing of the linear platforms in general. I believe it's happening for sure. It's going to happen, but it might maybe in Middle East take a little bit more time. But in general, I believe the whole world is reshaping in a way and I believe the best way is to follow the fans how they like, and this is the best way to get the maximum benefit of the output. While we were just talking for the last maybe 40 minutes, we didn't mention the football at all. So we were just talking about what's happening around the football, and it's a little bit weird. We spend almost 2 hours of chatting about what's happening outside the pitch, and I believe it's a little bit interesting. I believe now people should understand how things going and how many people are involved to make the 90 minutes shine on air. And when they just enjoy seeing the goal on air, they should understand that more than 500 people at least working on that moment to make it happen. So I believe it's I reached the last thing. So I would and I mentioned my part of conclusion. I would like to go all over around one by one, just have a feedback from you on this session, and what do you think the future how it will go, and how you see it from your angle, from your company perspective. So I will start with Paulo. Go ahead, please.
The future who knows, no? The thing is, I think the near future is going to implement what the innovations that we did, and we can consolidate these innovations and create a better way to do it, even with a lot of space to improvement. And we need more crazy ideas, because at the end, the crazy ideas is the things that we put us in the different way, and is like our fuel, So the future will be challenged for sure.
Yeah, for sure it's challenging. Talal, what do you say about that?
The important thing for me, I mean, for the future, that we are create the future. You know, we are create the things which we need to present it to the world. You know, not on the opposite side. You know, now we are most of the time we are following some big some countries. You know, but for me, I mean, the future should be, I mean, starting from here, actually, from us. I mean, to the world, not on the other side. The challenge will never stop, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Talal. Thank you, Mr. Rahat.
So I think the short-term future is really around augmented reality and immersiveness into how the broadcast is able to use animation and graphics to make it more interesting. But I really think in the long-term future, what we're seeing as a big trend that is going to shift is with devices that are coming, which are far more 3D and immersive in nature. Content has a potential to be able to also become far more three-dimensional in nature, where you can actually take the viewer right into the action and put him right, where the action is happening, and move and see where, from whatever perspective he likes. And it's something that we're working towards as a very exciting project in the back, and looking forward to see how that kind of evolves with new devices, with AR and VR devices that are just around the corner. It'll be quite interesting to see how content in sports evolves in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Rahat. Mohammad, how do you see the future, the near future at least?
I think the using of the technology in football world will be more and more every day. But exactly as what we discussed, I think it shouldn't harm the nature of the football. From a Sponix point of view, so we have some a great idea and some crazy idea, and this is, I think, why we are working with the UAE Pro League. So for the personalizing the feeds for each fan based on the IP, this is what we can do right now. If we have the enough cloud servers, we can generate 100, 200 different feeds from each match right now, and it could be each specific range of IP can have a specific customized sponsor. So I think the personalizing the feed for the fans will be a trend in next years. And also, we are working right now to releasing some crazy idea of our immersive technology to be able to showing the match through eyes of the players, mixing with virtual reality in real time. This is what technically we think we can achieve in next 2 years, and it will change the broadcasting of the match totally. So, but you saw something in the news that Manchester City started something with Hawkeye, and also some other companies are working on that. But we have some technical proof that we can achieve with that as well. So I think the future of technology in football world is very bright, I think.
So I will consider that as an announcement. No, I believe you have to manage a meeting with Malek so soon. So I'll go for Andre.
Yeah, so like everybody mentioned, I think the future is now in many of these crazy ideas that we discussed here. It's going to be the new standards. I'm sure. Like VAR, nowadays we cannot see international competition without VAR. That would be impossible. Something that's a few years back it was a crazy idea. So of course everything needs to be polished and needs to be improved. But I think from all the crazy ideas, it's going to be the new standards, and we are looking forward to be working at next UAE Pro League and Abu Dhabi Media, and to keep up with not only what the technology is bringing to us, but also to present new things and utilize what we have been done all over the years with the new technology.
Yeah, Jamal, I'll go for your opinion on that, and maybe I need to highlight that we discussed one time that maybe the virtual reality can be used as like someone inside the pitch to see the operation, how it's going. It's more about like check what's happening inside the match instead of watching the match itself. So your opinion on the future and how you think it will be.
Actually, the technology experts already explained that, Rahat and Mohammad, and from our side as a football, as a pro league, we'll try our best to be up to date with the technologies. We'll try new things. We'll always be ready to get all the crazy or new technology or ideas to give it a try or to do adventure. Regarding the future, I'm not sure, but yeah, virtual. I think that the virtual elements will take a big part for the next couple of years, I guess. So yeah, from this platform, I would like to just let you guys know that we are ready to have any crazy or any adventure and technology. So just let us know.
I believe the word crazy is the most been used word within this like roundtable. No, Malek, last but not the least, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Ammar. Actually, I won't add to any of what our colleagues just basically explained in this conversation. I'm going to take, on behalf of everyone in this session, to thank you for a great moderation. I would like to thank TKT for basically hosting us today and giving us the opportunity to discuss with great mind. I think we would love to see more and more of these sessions. You have greatly conducted a session that I am very proud to say that I was part of. On behalf of the UAE Pro League, I would like to thank you, thank the TKT, thank everyone basically that attended this session today on helping us dive into our league again, and then basically explore future projects, inshallah, for the next, let's say, cycle to come, and take more, let's say, courageous steps together.
Yeah, so from my side, I believe I'm going just to say thank you for everyone. I would like to thank Ahmad, our ex-colleague, as well, as he was part of this session. So I would like to thank you all for everything, and hope we can make it soon. So just like for the next roundtable, I would like to have all of you again. We're going to share the next topic so soon, so it would be great to have you again on board. Thank you everyone for everything. Thank you, TKT, and have a lovely time. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ammar.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.